Hello and welcome to GB News. I'm Darren Grimes at ARC Conference, and I'm delighted to be joined right now by Lojze Peterle. Now, Lojze, you are former Prime Minister of Slovenia, and at a time when actually Slovenia was becoming a free country again. Now, I wonder, we're talking a lot about freedom here in the abstract at ARC Conference. You know a thing or two about actually not being without your freedoms and liberties, or being without them altogether. Now, I wonder, have you any thoughts and reflections on what you've heard so far and the direction that the West is headed in right now?
I'm not here only because I met Jordan Peterson once in my life, but because I like his undertaking, because I think we have to do something facing civilizational and cultural decline. And what his team is doing with ARC, I think is the right thing in the right time, and we need to understand where we are or why we are here. And first of all, this was said so many times on the conference, first of all, we have to know who we are. Only if we know who we are, then we can find also our direction. And I saw divided Europe. I spent my first 42 years in the communist Yugoslavia,
yes,
which was a totalitarian country led by Communist Party. Then I saw and I worked for a reunited Europe, and later I spent 15 years in the European Parliament. Now I see weak Europe, but I see that the concept of the enemy is present almost everywhere, is present globally. And this is what you have to think about.
Do you worry about the direction of especially younger people across the continent moving in perhaps a left-wing Marxist direction? Does that concern you, the political trajectory that we may well be on with future generations?
The left wing, especially those described as cultural Marxists, they try to engage young people with their slogans.
Yes.
And I was fighting for freedom, but today it seems that each desire can become a right and related to freedom and so on. We see that new rights are produced on daily basis, but rights without responsibility. And I think we should speak also about responsibility. And we know, I have my own experience with the concept of the new man. The communists said new society, new men, but they failed. And we don't like to repeat this story. And today again we have these ideas of new men. We do everything from zero. We reject traditional values and so on. But I like to say that the roots are not the past. I remember how many times in the former communist countries, the former leading communists said, let's forget the past. I can understand why they would wish that we forget. I don't like to speak about Soviet system or the other communist systems, but this is the worst suggestion one can pronounce, because the past is the only thing we really have. I mean, we have some dreams about the future, and the roots are organic term. We can't grow without roots, and this is why we need, I would say, clear conservative concepts related to the reality we are living in.
And Lojze, I wonder, we've been speaking a lot about actually telling a better story and how we need to tell a story, and that may well be a story about the past and the way in which the West has led the Enlightenment and been responsible for many advancements and progressions in society, and through debate and speech, for example, which is something you don't seem able to do these days. You can't say certain things and you can't debate certain topics. for fear of cancellation. Now, I wonder, how do you think we do tell a better story? How do you think actually we do remind people of why we are where we are right now and why this is better than life has ever been before?
I'm happy that on this conference so many people share the same diagnosis or the same concerns. I would wish that we share also the same solutions, or that we come at the end of the conference to the ideas what to undertake. As I said, I saw what can bring a revolutionary concept which begins with new, I would say, new men. And I think that we can tell a better story, which for me is not just a new slogan. We need a better story, because what we are facing now is not a good story.
No.
We heard about numbers of how many people face depression, lack of sense of life, suicides, especially in young women, and so on. I mean, and this, what I mentioned already, the concept of the enemy is so strong, and we are more and more divided, more and more polarized. But we have to find a common language. We can live in diversity. Diversity enriches us, but we have equal dignity, and we have to find a language which will allow us to live together. And totalitarians, they don't like diversity very much, and they simplify the reality by excluding those who are different. But there is another concept, and this is respect for dignity of everyone. And if you and me, we are one-to-one with dignity, then we respect each other, we talk to each other, we have dialogue, we can reach a compromise, we can live together. And we need togetherness in our communities, in our nations, but also globally. I would wish that the main question is not who is the first, but what is the first. I think this conference will bring some results in that sense.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I very much do. Now, Alice, I wonder if finally we talk about as you say, we all reach the same conclusion, but with perhaps different ways of achieving that conclusion and different plans to how to get there. What would your message be you've been around politics for a long time? I don't wish to sound impertinent in saying that, but I wonder what your message would be for policymakers now, today, in how we actually adopt the lessons that we're learning from a conference such as this. What messages would you send out to the Ursula von der Leyens of today, for example, the European Parliament today? What would you say to them?
I think that it is very important that we place men at the center. But men at the center does not mean only respect for dignity, but the man in the center means that the man can, with all responsibility, undertake something for common good in the society. We don't like that centralism, as this was the central power in the communist countries, that replaces the role of the society or of the people. I think we have to enable the citizen to do what is necessary to do, to have freedom of speech, freedom of association, because today we speak about the soft totalitarianism. Now, we see also in Brussels that the main ideologic stream is labeling the others as conservatives, and some like to speak about progress or progressive line, but this is ideology. We have to agree what is progressive, and progressive is only that what will enable us to reach a higher quality of togetherness, higher quality of our community, and this is why I'm happy to. I wouldn't say this is a slogan, but we say here on the conference, we will engage ourselves to build community of hope and courage, and I would add and some joy at least, because nothing can prosper without joy.
Alois, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for inviting me.